Hello, everybody. My name is Spoons Rattling. Excuse me, and welcome to another Warhammer 40k video. Where today we are covering the Grommas detachment for the Blood Angels of the Space Marines, of course. One of my favorite chapters. My first army was Blood Angels in the modern era of 40k. And I just overall really quite like them, so I'm interested to see what's going on with this. So this is the Angelic Inheritors. And in terms of detachment rules, this is called Legacy of the Angel. At the start of the first battle round, select two of the angelic legacy abilities listed below. Until the end of the battle, those angelic abilities are active and apply to all Adeptus Astartes character units from your armies. So this does apply to lead units. This isn't, if it was only for the characters themselves, it would say character models. So there's three to pick from. Sanguinary Grace. This unit's eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn which it fell back. Decently useful, though probably not the most impactful for the Blood Angels, given they're largely melee focused. Though I suppose if you have Lance, this could be useful to just constantly have Lance going. Each time, and then Carmine Wrath is each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1 and a reroll a wound roll of 1. Very useful. Makes your units just a lot more consistent against all targets they're fighting. And is probably one that I would always take, unless you're specifically going for like a massive shooting sort of list with Blood Angels, which seems a little contradictory, but hey, to each their own. Then we have their appointed hour. You can reroll advance and charge rolls made for this unit. Always useful. Just free rerolling charge rolls. Makes deep strike charges a lot more consistent, and overall just means it'll be a lot easier for you to get into melee. Of course, I would generally pick these two here, just because, well, they are the most general purpose and fit the most with the Blood Angels aesthetic. Though, if you're afraid of facing a lot of hordes, Gretchen, 20 strong orc boys, stuff like that, where it could take multiple turns to get through, getting the charge bonus could be nice for certain weapons. And also, if you just want to jump from target to target, Sanguinary Grace definitely has its place. Moving on to enhancements, we have Prescient Flash for 20 points. This is for an Adeptus Astartes model only. Models in the Bear's unit have the Scout 6 inches ability. Always useful, especially for slow units, but just as useful for fast units. Could definitely set up some very nasty first turn charges if you have something like Sanguinary Guard or even Jump Pack Assault Intercessors. And then we have Troubling Visions for 15 points. This is for an Astartes model only. Once per battle in your command phase, the bear can use this enhancement. When it does until the start of your next command phase, all angelic legacy abilities, see left, are active for the bear's unit instead of only 2 of them. So this is moderately useful, especially if, again, you don't really plan to need this all the time. You could put it on a unit as a sort of backup, sort of insurance almost. Though I would generally only use this if you're running a multi-character unit, because I believe you could, well, I say that. Again, if you want to, this is a great one to have, but again, probably better on a secondary character than anything else. Blazing Icon is 20 points. For an infantry model, enemy units cannot use the Fire Overwatch stratagem to shoot at the bear's unit. I'd say that's pretty useful. 20 points might be a little pricey, but it could be what you need to make sure that your entire unit gets into melee if you're facing down something like the Land Raider Redeemer or any other insane Torrent unit, Rubric Marines, and the newly buffed Infernus Marines, which could really put the hurt on your unit. Having this to deny that Overwatch is useful, and I would say is a solid enhancement, though 20 points is probably as much as I would pay for it. Ordained Sacrifice is 25 points for an Astartes model only. The first time the bearer is destroyed, roll 1d6 at the end of the phase. On a 2+, set the bearer back up on the battlefield as close as possible to whatever was destroyed, and not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, with 3 wounds remaining. So for 25 points, getting a character to stand back up again is pretty nice. This, of course, can just allow you to get some more fight out of it, though I'm not entirely sure exactly how useful it would be, generally because, a character wants their retinue to have the most power, though this could also just be useful for objective shenanigans. If you have a jump pack captain, he stands back up and flies off to go do other things after his unit gets blown up. For 25 points, I'd say it's very, very useful in general. Now we're going to move on to, of course, stratagems. So, we have the standard 6. First up is Armor of Contempt. You've heard this one a million times. It's useful. Less useful now, but still useful when facing things like plasma guns. just to have -1 AP for one attack sequence. Focused Fury is 1 command point in your fight phase. 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army has not been selected to fight this phase. The weapons on these units gain lethal hits, and if your unit is character, until the end phase, those weapons have the lance ability as well. So super useful stratagem, especially with those reroll ones to wound. This could prove to be This could prove to be extremely useful, and as a stratagem that I think would be a great target for free stratagems every turn. And moving on to next, we have Instant of Grace, which I think should be Instance of Grace, which is in your command phase. 1 Astartes infantry unit from your army. Select 1 non-character model in your unit. Till the start of your next command phase, your model has the character keyword. And while in effect, your model's unit is therefore a character unit. Yeah, so this would probably be, of course, for your squad sergeants, which is very nice, and is pretty handy, though I'd say this would only really be useful if you desperately need extra power, because most of your most dangerous units will probably have characters with them anyways, though if you have a unit like Assault Intercessors that just really need to put the hurt on for one turn, of course, or really need to make this charge or whatever it may be, is super useful, and also just in general could be nice to have. Strike Now for Glory is 1 command point in your shooting phase, so your 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army. Till the end phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit have the Sustained Hits 1 ability, generally pretty useful. You could give this to Hellblasters, Devastators, whatever it may be. Sustained Hits 1 is always useful, mainly useful for dealing with lots of infantry, but even putting this on something like a Gladiator Lancer would definitely be useful just for the off chance you do get one of those huge sustained hits for an extra one of those super powerful attacks. Very useful stratagem. Moving on, we have In the Shadow of Great Wings for 1 command point. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. 1 Astartes character unit from your army that was selected as the target. And then until the end phase, your unit can only be selected as a target of a ranged attack if the attacking model is within 18 inches. So this is effectively your anti-Tau countermeasure. Just in case they are relying on far-range shooting, you can simply deny that, which could definitely make or break a turn of getting to combat, which would be super, super useful. And for 1 command point, really solid. Unto Burning Skies is 1 command point at the end of your opponent's fight phase. 1 Adeptus Astartes jump pack unit from your army. You cannot target a unit that is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units unless it is the Sanguinor. Remove your unit from battlefield and place it in strategic reserves. So this is effectively the same thing that the what are they called? Oh, why can't I think? The Warp Talons get. If they're not in combat, i.e. they're either never were there to begin with, that destroyed an enemy unit, they can just pop back into strategic reserves. Very useful. Though, of course, at the end of your opponent's fight phase does make it a little less consistent on your end, but at the end of a battle, if someone's on a far-flung area, you can pop them up and have them drop elsewhere. Very useful, and overall, I'd say these stratagems are all pretty solid, with Focused Fury and Strike for Glory probably being my favorites, though Unto Burning Skies is, of course, very useful for just a general objective game, which, of course, 40k is. Overall, I'd say this detachment's pretty solid. You're mainly just coming here for this. This is going to be your detachment ability, I'd say 99 times out of 100. And I mean, that's a good detachment ability, being able to reroll and charge rolls, and being able to add or reroll ones to hit and wound is very useful. That is a buff that can go a very long way. I like this attachment. I've been Spoons Rattling. I'll see you all next time.